1. And I believe we should be live. There we
We
go.
live? All right.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Marta from Sigma Gaming, and this is my boy Anthony from All About You. What's going on, Ant?
Everything's good, man. Can't wait for these little weekly podcasts to talk with
Oh
you
yeah, for no
guys.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Dude, have you seen the campaign raids that recently came out?
Yeah, I have.
So, what is your opinion on those campaign raids? Like how it, like the look? I'm not even talking about the effect. Let's just talk about how they look.
The look is cool. I like it. It has some aesthetics. Overall, I think pretty good design. Pretty cool.
I love the way it looks. I think it looks pretty sick. I'm
hmm
hoping that it's going to look a lot better, like when you get the actual full card.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
I want it to really pop out, smack you in the face, kind of dope. You know what I mean? But now let's talk about these effects, man.
Which
I
one's
don't.
your favorite? Or you
Alright,
started off.
alright. I'm a green player, so when I seen the two green cards, I was like, okay, the Krill, not the Krillin, the Piccolo. I think he's great. He's spicy. He's very sneaky. But I love that Gohan. I think that Gohan is disgusting. I
The
think he's
Gohan is the one that takes life, right? The one
yeah.
that takes two life.
So
Yeah.
so you pay one green, active
hmm
main, pay one green, warp it from your hand. At the end of your opponent's turn, he comes into play, takes 2 life.
That's
Now
great.
I've been messing around with the Red Brawly deck, and the issue with the Red Brawly deck is that people tend to attack you twice and leave you there.
They just yeah, they let you
So
sit.
now with this card, on the first turn, if you play the first green energy, you can use this effect. If your opponent happens to attack you next turn, and they probably will, depending on their leader. If the leader relies on burst or doing whatever, they probably will attack you.
hmm
At the end of that turn, that the Gohan comes in play and he triggers his effect, also triggering the field card's effect because it's still your opponent's turn, which allows you to have 3 of those cards underneath him, and on your second turn you get a 4-drop Brawly counter dude, and you just start mauling your opponent from that point on. I
Gotcha.
think that's disgusting, bro. And it's not
hmm
only for that deck. I like playing androids, so that's another card I can play
Off the rip,
instant.
you're awakening.
Correct. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think it's good. Uh, I hate his stats, but I understand the reason why his stats are that crappy. I wish it
And
was
I believe his effect also triggers if you just want to play him straight up. So
correct.
you could also just play him and
So
take the two
you,
life.
it's optional. Yeah, it is optional for you to take those 2 lives. So you could pay the one, and if your opponent decided, you know what, he's gonna get the life anyway. Let me just go all out and attack him, and then you
Yeah.
decide, well, it's optional. I'm not taking a life. So you did the job for me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So he's very mind game. I really like them about that. But Piccolo, like I said, solid card. There's been a lot of talk about the Bardock. How do you feel about that Bardock?
The Bardock is interesting. I mean, honestly, because I know they revealed the Goku and the Bardock, and they both like have similar names. The Bardock is the one that can be played for free, right? That's the one that if your opponent has 3 energy, I believe, and then it says if you could tap down a guy and then you could play him for free if you meet the requirement. It's
Yeah,
good. That is good. It pretty much forces your opponent to be careful on how they play battle cards because early on in the game, if they want to play something that's more resource based,
yeah,
you're giving your opponent the option of bringing out a free guy. So you have to be careful because as long as I'm assuming as long as your opponent doesn't have a battle card that you have to tap, then he can't come out for free because I believe that's part of the effect. You have to tap the guy down.
on
Um,
on a side note, I don't mean to cut you off.
yeah.
Somebody needs to approve the post. I posted in the Hyper Volume Tight Chamber a link to this. It's pending right now.
Oh God, I don't even know if I can. Can I?
There's a possibility you might.
All right, let me see if I could try.
Yeah,
Um,
give it a shot. I'm sorry about that,
I,
everybody.
yeah, I hope nothing goes wrong here.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. You can still see me, right?
You're gone for the time being, but that's no problem.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm just
No
gonna
problem at all.
accept it. Da, da, da. Yeah, I should be able to accept that.
Mhm.
And yep, I approved it. So we're good.
Okay. All right. All right. I didn't even know that. I was like, you know what? Let me just check this just in case, and I just realized that you had to approve that. So
Yeah, we
uh,
ended up doing that for that group because,
there was a lot of
uh,
people like doing the reporting the groups, right?
yep, reporting, and not only that, like,
Like spamming a
not for
bunch of
nothing,
shit.
some people like they over, like the whole point of the hyperbolic group was so you could have, like, you wouldn't have anything censored. So if you wanted to talk about the card game or talk about players, you could freely do so without having to worry, oh, I cursed, or oh, I said something that might be, misconstrued as not proper, or appropriate. But people took it to another level. Like, people are either bashing so heavily, and they're bashing about personal character. Like,
Yeah,
when you start directing your comments or your statements towards an actual person, and you're not really being like, it has nothing to do with the game. It's just like you're just trying to shit on someone. Then it's like, nah, that's a little overdoing it. So we started doing the whole proof thing, similar to
yeah.
the other group.
I have obviously, I have the Naruto group, and so yeah, I had to do the same thing too. Well, obviously, it wasn't to your level of people, shit talking to each other,
Yeah.
but I had to stop it because I remember there were going some people were doing some crazy stuff where they like join a group and they'll put like porn, all kinds of random shit, and
No,
then they'll
that's terrible.
and
Your
they'll
whole
and
group could
they'll
get shut down.
yeah, and they'll shut down the group, so they were doing a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to put it for a little bit, and then it stopped. So
Yeah.
for those of you who are coming in, just a quick little catch up. We were talking about the campaign rares that recently got previewed today, and we're talking about the cards that we like. I like the Gohan. I think the Gohan was great. What was your favorite one so far out of the
My
four?
favorite one probably would be the Bardock because for one, he's a Bardock. So if you want to play apes and evolve the monkey over him, you
Hmm.
could bring him out for free, tap down a guy, then swing out, do what you have to do, evolve the 4-drop monkey over him, and have a blocker slash double strike that can attack. Like, that's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome to have those type of tools, that you can use, because apes, guys and girls, apes used to be very strong, and with the restriction of certain leaders or bannings of certain leaders, it kind of made them a little unplayable. We had our SS3, we had our Goku that allowed us to untap 3 energy and then started off as an objection. So by turn 3, you were able to play March of the Great Apes, and then after you played March, you were able to bring out 2 bodies on board. You would have already a Planet Vegeta early on, restand your whole board, restand all your energy, like a good chunk of your energy. So that
Gotcha.
was awesome. We had so much
I
control.
I didn't really play around that time frame. I think because Mecha Frieza came out around that time frame, right?
Mecha came first, then SS3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was just like, nah, yo, man. I hated Mecha Frieza, man. It was just, it was just annoying, just sitting on
It
the other
was
side,
OP. Mecha
sitting on the
was
other side there. You're just like, yep, okay, yep. You done? You
it was
done or
it was
what?
so good. Yeah, but it's funny because this is, I guess I'm not gonna deter the topic too much, but lately there's been a lot of talk about decks. Like, people are asking, "Oh my God, what decks did so well this tournament?" So for the Orlando regional, we had, I believe, 5 to 7 Janumbas top
I
32.
think I think the event had like maybe 26 numbers
Yeah,
altogether.
it was insane. Like,
Yeah,
Janumba was, I think, the highest represented deck, or one of the highest, and we had some Shenron. We had some Shenron Gogeta or Shenron Play Big Things deck. We had a skillless Goku, I believe, in top cut, in top 32. We had, like, it was an abundance of really cool decks.
yeah, no, no,
But
for sure.
Janemba made a huge
Yeah,
showing.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's not a bad deck. The Geneva
No,
deck's
it's
not bad.
it's
It's super solid.
yeah.
It's I consider it very noob friendly.
Hmm.
If you don't know how to play the game too well, the Geneva will carry you. Even though you make mistakes, it's that good that it will carry you. You know what I mean?
And you're always advancing. So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter if you're making a few play errors, like you said. You're getting closer and closer to your win con,
correct.
regardless. All you have to do is turn your leader sideways, and you're already progressing. Now, the statement, or I guess like the point I was kind of getting with, is that ultimately, we have a lot of people like saying, "Oh well, okay, so this deck won or this deck made a high placement." I like to correct players and say, "No, Dehan won. Butters and whoever made a high placement." I give more credit to the actual players than to the decks or the
That's
tools
fair.
you may
That's fair.
say that got there. Because realistically speaking, if I put myself in the equation, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, "Here we go, all about me again." If I play, if I play Janemba, Janemba's going to top. If I play Shenron, Shenron's going to top. If I play anything I pretty much play will make top cut, and I'm confident in that. Will it win? Some of those options could win. Now, my thing is, was it the deck so much, or did it have to do with the player? I believe that the player is the bigger factor than the
Oh
deck
yeah, no,
itself.
I would definitely agree. The player has a lot to do with it. Uh, like I play weekly sometimes here and there. I don't play all the time, and
Hmm.
sometimes I don't put in the rep, and somebody else can pilot your deck, and you can
Hmm.
see the difference. And like you could have done that. You could have done this, and they didn't do that.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter how good the deck is. If you're not playing it correctly, you're not gonna win. You know what I mean?
exactly. And it was sad because one of my boys, I'm not throwing you under the bus, bro, but Juan, he's one of my teammates. He picked up the deck literally the day of. So like I spoke to him on Friday, and I confirmed that I wasn't able to go because, like I said, I got for everyone who I guess didn't hear the memo. I ended up screwing myself from going to Orlando because I booked my flight for I booked my flight for 8 p.m. that like for 8 I believe it was 8:30 p.m. for that day, for that Friday night. I thought my flight was going to be at LaGuardia or JFK because originally when I purchased my tickets or when I tried buying my tickets, those were the two areas that I was going to go to in order to fly out. I made a huge error where I bought the ticket, it didn't go through, so I ended up having to call the third party website. I called them, they helped me with getting my flight all together, so they were able to
Okay.
purchase it on their side. But I didn't realize that they put it for Newark instead of for New York. So I had to go to Jersey instead of going to where I normally go to take
Oh,
my
but
flight.
pull up. Jersey's not that far from you though.
It's not, but it's not close to me if I don't have a car. I was gonna take regular public transportation, and my dumbass, I didn't realize that in time. So I basically started getting ready to leave my house during the time that it would have took me to get to LaGuardia, or during that time it would have took me to get to JFK, not to get to Newark Airport. So it was a
Gotcha,
wrap.
gotcha,
My
gotcha.
only option in order to get to Newark was to take an Uber at that point and spend $103. Ain't no way in hell I'm spending $103. Like that would have just been almost defeating the purpose of going on the trip because then I would have spent that amount of money, made it, maybe made it on time, and then have to come back at the following day on Sunday. I would have left on Sunday at 11 p.m., arrived Monday at 2 in the morning, and have to commute 2 in the morning from Newark to the Bronx. That wasn't happening.
Wow.
It wasn't happening. So yeah,
You fucking idiot.
I
Oh
messed up
my
ordering.
god.
It was it was so bad because then I ended up
Did
telling
you
my
did you get a
teammates
refund though?
I couldn't. I couldn't.
Hey
I
guys, is my mic like super loud or no? Let me know in the comments if my mic is very loud.
Yeah, for sure.
I keep seeing the red come up, so I'm like I think my mic is like super loud.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
guys, communicate because unless they're throwing red smileys because they're like, damn, this dumbass. He allowed Dehan and Mill to win. Because I got messages, bro. It was
Is
hilarious.
it
They were
loud
like, how
bad
could
or
you let
loud
Mill
good?
win? I'm like, I didn't go. I'm sorry, guys. Like Dehan is a great player though. He decided to play Mill and it won. Um, but obviously my deck
Wasn't
placement
Daehan
didn't.
like one of the like original Janemba players though?
Yes, he's the first Janemba player that won an event, and he's the most consistent Janemba player outside of Butters, I believe, because Butters is another teammate of his. I think they're from separate teams. One is from Gamers, and then Dehan is from the what is that team with G Sports? G Sports. I'm like I'm thinking of like the letter. I'm like there's a big ass G on their shirt. But yeah, so he's from that team, but they collaborate. They're like very close to each other. So it's like a unified team, you can say. But yeah, so some people were hitting me up and were like, "Where are you, Anthony? Where are you? How could you let Mill win?" And I'm like, I wasn't there. I'm sorry. Like that's the reason why Mill won. I wasn't there. And again, I didn't want to take anything away from the players because Dehan is a very good player. Like he to me is in the current top 5. Like if I would go based on like maybe within the past 6 months of performances, he would break into the top 5 player spot. If I was going through like the overall performance, though, since the game started, he would probably be like top 10, top 15. But for now in this current season, he's like top 5. But yeah, so it's like, I don't know. It's just a situation where like a lot of players, they were talking about, Mill won again, and it's like, no, Dehan won, and that's kind of like why I try to give.
Now here's my question: do you think Bondi is going to finally do something about Mill?
No,
Not.
I don't think so. I feel like Bandai.
There's a lot of people crying about it right now. If you go on the Facebook group and you read the comment, yeah, there are people crying about it. I'm not gonna really say any names, but I'm just gonna use the word.
I know.
I'm just gonna use the word Miller. That's it,
Weirdly,
Yo, Miller, you gotta come up here, Miller, on the podcast. That'd be great to have you here.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, he did. I don't think he was complaining. He posted something and he wanted to hear the people's opinion. He's always the kind of guy that posted stuff and was like, "Hey, what's everyone's opinion?" And then you start to read, you're like, "Holy shit!" The pitchforks come out. You start seeing the two faces and all the kinds of stuff.
Everybody comes right out.
People are savages, man, and they just start bashing each other. I'm like, you guys talk about the same thing. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Y'all saying the same thing, just different.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, I feel like Mill is a necessary evil. And the reason why, and I know some people are gonna be like, "Damn, man, like, of course you like these unfair decks," but Mill allows you to minimize what your opponent can access. So, for example, a Shenron player, right? I believe it or not, a lot of Shenron players were losing to Mill that day. In Orlando, Shenron players were losing to Mill.
Well, now, I mean, if you think about it, they draw tons of cards.
I know, and that's the thing. So
that's a good way to answer it.
No, I agree. A good Shenron player, though, and I'm not throwing any shade towards anyone, but a good Shenron player, someone who has I wouldn't even say mastered the deck, but someone who has a great understanding of what the deck can do, can minimize their draw factor, maximize their threats on board, and close in the game without even cards like Battering Laser. Because I know me, Jordan Markle, Eon, like a few of us, we have had a lot of experience playing Shenron. And, I remember Jordan made a statement a while back where he was like, without Battering, Shenron got nerfed hard. But Jordan did say the way Anthony built his deck, that is the right way to build it, as you're going to try to make Shenron compete against Mill decks and compete against the format. So, kudos to you, Jordan, because obviously, again, you're good. You're well aware of what it takes to adapt in order to use specific decks in this current format. But my thing is that the Mill players were beating these Shenron players, and no offense, you Mill players, you were free. Like,
God damn.
Player, no, I know, that's why,
savage.
Are the way they are. But you guys would have been buys to me, like total buys, like Butters, Dehan, your whole crew would have been a buy. And it's not even because of a skill cap.
All right, so here's my question to you, real quick. You keep saying free. Would you, if you went there, were you gonna play Shenron?
Yeah. I was going to play Shenron.
The same build or
no?
A little bit
the build was about like a 15 card difference. It was a different.
So you got some new spice, huh?
Yes. I always like saving the best for last, and that's something that I ended up having a chat with my Patreon group. because like my Patreon group kind of like they started asking me questions about like, we notice, Anthony, you always keep improving on the deck. Is it because you find out new things, or is it because you're withholding information? And I told them it's a little bit of both. So I withhold information. Like if I know there's a bigger, better event to go to, I may not play the best variant just yet because I don't want mirror matches. I believe it or not, I'm good at mirror matches, but I like having fun playing a deck that a lot of people I know won't be using. I like when people are using different decks so that it keeps the game interesting and fresh. And I don't have to just think about my own strategies. I can think about what you're trying to do in the game versus, well, I'm playing against the mirror match. Obviously, they're going to be doing this because this is what I would do. And if they don't do that, then they're in trouble because then I'm just going to mollywop them. But it's like, these are like the factors. So, going again based on what I said, like Mill is a good matchup for Shenron if the Shenron player is not knowledgeable on how to deal with the Mill player. But yeah, that's pretty much all to it. This Orlando event showed that still there's so many viable decks, and it's about understanding and sharpening your skills as a player in order to perform. But Marto, do we have any questions coming in? Like,
No, there's not people, not a lot of people on the stream right now, especially since it hasn't been posted on
the main group?
the main group yet, because they take forever to,
Approve.
approve
Gotcha,
for
gotcha.
stuff, which kind of sucks. It kind of hinders what people want to do sometimes. I wish they would be a lot better at approving things, and sometimes they are pretty good at it, but being that it's like 1 in the morning, that's probably why they
Yeah,
haven't approved it yet.
yeah,
If they're if they don't and they approve it tomorrow, that's fine. This will still be saved. People can see it.
yeah,
I'm tuning in. Donald, welcome to the stream, my dude.
yep. Sounds good, sounds good. So, Marta, what topics do you want us to cover?
Well, are you gonna get any of the draft box?
Yeah, of course. I'm probably, if I don't get the draft boxes themselves, which I'm more than likely I will, I'll still pick up singles. But for the most part, I do want to get some of the draft boxes because, like, they're good. They're
I
some good
I think I
cards.
think the draft box compared to the previous draft boxes, I think they did a really great job and then doing like a very fantastic job on it. Some of the cards I'm not a big fan of, some of them are great, but for a draft box to being able to draft, it's actually draftable. And that leader, I was talking to my Freeman, sorry, my teammate Freeman, and I was telling him I was like, what would have been sick if they made that same leader for every color but different characters.
Ooh, that would be cool. That
It's,
would really be
it could be
cool.
the same effect, whatever. I understand because if the draft box, so
Yeah,
it's a draft leader, it's gonna do the same thing, but one's a Piccolo, the other one's a Zamatsu, and that
yeah.
changes a lot on what you can do outside of the
And how
draft.
you play the game. Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely.
I think that'd have been cool. How about the new
See,
Bardock Apes? We were actually talking about that earlier in the
yep.
segment. Um, I think that's great. I think that's going to be a very good addition to the current meta, and I would love to see what people can do with the Bardock. I've been seeing a lot of crazy cool stuff that people are posting, so I think it's going to be sick. And I believe cars are going to go up in price because of that Bardock.
Oh, absolutely. Because there's just so much you can do with that
Like,
card and so many setups you
like
can
I
get.
feel like Planet Vegeta might go up.
Yeah. It's going to go up and not just go up, but see play. Like,
Yeah.
that's now a card we're going to start seeing more in people's decks. And we're going to see another resurgence of yellow. Because, like, right now, obviously, yellow, there are players playing yellow. And it's obviously a strong color, like a lot of other colors. But most of the main counters are not yellow. The main hot counters that people are playing are green, red, even blue has pretty good counters. So yellow kind of like fell off from like the whole counter perspective outside of Bad Ring, which Bad Ring is banned. So,
I
we
don't
have
know about
cooler.
if they fell off. I think they just gotten a lot better now with the counters. I
I
mean,
think they've gotten better with the other colors. Remember, yellow was the counter color. It was like, oh, we had Cold
but
Bloodlust, we had Bad Ring.
it's
Like,
still the
come
only
on.
color that have a counter.
Yeah, like it's incredible. Even now, we have, in my opinion, a whack ass cooler, but still, we have a counter
Yeah,
counter. Like, spend three,
he
my
is he
dude.
is he is pretty whack.
Yeah,
But
spend three. But wait,
he might
there's
win you the
more.
game. He might win you the
You
game.
could draw up to two cards, my dude. Like, it's still whack. But
uh,
like,
I love the art on him, dude. I think the art was so
oh,
sick.
he's
Yeah.
great.
And then
Yeah,
when
the
you
art of all those cards that came out in that like expansion set, they're great. Like, I love the alternate art sensu beans. I love the cooler. I love all the arts. I mean, that mirror, that 5-drop mirror that goes into the chain, he's just nutty. Like, he made Toa a powerhouse, you know. But outside of that, like, my perspective is that like where the game is heading, you were going to see a lot more innovative decks and a lot more variety in Top Cut. Like right now, the past few events we had very good variety in the top slots, and I feel like it's only going to get better
oh
as we
yeah,
keep moving
no,
forward.
for sure. I love right now that we're in the meta. There, to me, there's not a tier one deck. There's not.
Yeah.
I almost said tier one, like a S tier deck, like the deck that you must play to win. Like we had Storm, where if you didn't play
Yes.
Storm,
No,
you're gonna
there
get
isn't a
mollywopped.
must play X deck to win. There is. There
There's
are still like the 2 to 3 reigning champions, and then you have all these other decks that are right below it, but they can beat a lot of these reigning champion decks. So like some of these decks may not be able to beat, let's say, Shenron, but they could beat Mill. And if they can't beat Mill,
yeah, those
they could
counters
beat
are pretty good.
the Toa deck. You know, like all these little powerhouses. You know, but
A question: are you actually able to see the stream like on a different device,
oh no, not
so
at
you
all.
can see the comments that are coming down?
No, I can't. That's why I asked you. I was like, you're gonna have to read. If anyone asks a question
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
want me
no,
to
no,
go over,
yeah, no doubt.
I can't.
No one's asked any question, but there is a person that's talking in the chat, and I appreciate that guy or that girl for talking in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a guy because the name is Donald. So
Oh no, Donald Bookhart.
yes, yes.
Yes, that's my dude. You know, he's cool. What's up, Donald? Great to see you here. But if you have any questions, definitely leave them so that Marto can read them off and we could talk about it. But outside of like right now, what's going on in the format, I feel like the game is in a good place. It's healthy. The only issues I have, honestly, is consistency with events as far as tournament structure, pricing. That's going to always be a main topic until it gets to a point where players are satisfied. And basically, how the events are spread out. I want to see more events spread out more evenly, so it gives a lot of people opportunities to go to these major events because, Texas, for example, Texas, a lot of people don't get a lot of love around those areas as far as events are concerned. Like every now and then they get an event, but outside of that, most of these events are very far for those type of players. So you don't really see Texas players at these major events because they have to travel far, and not all of them are going to be an Anthony Hernandez that travels far and wide like a Pokemon trainer out here
The wallet warrior.
collecting gym badges, right? So
Aren't you cool with like the guy who does all the big stuff in Texas?
yeah, I'm very cool with him. That's Andrew Luciano. He's a phenomenal person. He has a store that opened up, a brick motor store that opened up recently, and he's been very helpful to the community, helpful to me. Invited me in his home, just to stay over so that I can compete. Very cool guy. So nothing but love to him and to his family. And but my only thing is that Texas doesn't shine as much because of the event distribution, distribution. It's not
Well,
an area
things
that
are
gets a
gonna
lot of.
change come
Yeah,
next season for sure because
yeah.
we
I
got.
hope so.
I mean, ARG's gone, right? So we picked up this new company. I
Sad
don't.
faces.
I'm cool with it. I mean, I didn't go to these big events. It didn't affect me personally. But
Yeah.
I think it might be because from what I was hearing, a lot of people like the new company that was running the other event
Oh, Tac
before.
Gaming, Tac Gaming. Yeah, they're good. I got along with all the staff, but Tac Gaming is located outside of this country, and
Mm,
they decided to come in this country to hold the last Gen Con event, and
gotcha,
that was
gotcha.
great. That was a good thing,
So
but
it was a one and done, so to speak.
exactly a one and done until they hash out the particulars, which whatever that is. Obviously they
So
have to communicate
so
with
who
Bandai.
ran Orlando?
PBG
Oh,
runs.
so PBG. It was a PBG event. All right,
Yeah, it
got it.
wasn't a pro play tour because if it was, y'all know I would have been down there for a fact. I would have spent $100 and something just to go down there because it would have been worth the trip money wise.
Yeah,
But it was a regular regional,
I would
and
love for them to be the main thing for Dragon Ball Superman.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I do believe though,
Especially since they do the Chrono Clash game.
yeah, the Naruto game. Yeah. Well, actually,
Yeah,
it's
Chrono
Chrono
Crash.
Clash because
Yeah, yeah.
Godzilla
Let's
is about to be coming in.
I hate that
Imagine
rule.
Godzilla versus Naruto, bro. How
But
that's gonna be?
you could go versus each other. You can't use other IPs in your deck. Only one IP per deck.
Okay.
So if I'm
It's
playing
similar to that other game, White Swords.
White Swords, yes, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be cool. That's cool.
So that's the rule they
Um,
have behind it. I'm not a big fan of that rule. I would love to have a Godzilla
play
in.
Metal Godzilla with Naruto. Damn,
Yeah,
let's blaze it.
but
Let's get some shit in there.
I'm not a big fan of the game. Actually, I actually don't like the game.
Yeah.
Like when you when I was learning how to play the game, it was not terrible. But when you start to understand the cards and what they're able to do, you're like, yeah, this shit's not fun. This, you
What's
play
your
this.
well? What's your take on it? Because I haven't played it yet. What's your take on it?
Well, because it's only one set, you know what colors to play, right? Play this card, you want to win. So it's kind of like the first set of Dragon Ball Super, where if you didn't really play Ginyu, you're probably gonna get your ass beat, you know,
Or yeah,
or
that's true.
or Vegeta,
Or Vegeta.
So those are the two things. This game doesn't have two decks. It only has that one deck. If you're not playing this one deck, you're gonna get your ass beat,
Yeah,
unfortunately. So
that sucks.
and now that the Godzilla's coming out, that deck is still gonna be number one unless the other Godzilla deck is obnoxious because you can't mix, you can't update your old decks because there's nothing for you to update because Godzilla's gonna be for Godzilla only.
Yeah,
You
that
know what
makes
I mean?
sense.
So that's what I don't like. So,
Uh,
but I know they plan to release, expansions of for the Naruto IP and stuff like that. So more stuff gonna come out. The question is when. I have no idea. So
do you believe because this deck has its own? I mean, that game has its own style of playing. It's not like a deck builder
no,
or
no, it's what? So they wanted to do a living card game, but they couldn't use the name the living card game because it's copyright by somebody else.
okay,
So they called it the expendable card game.
okay.
So essentially, they come up with sets every 3 months or whatever the case, just like we do for Super, but there are IP locked. So
So let's say
take with a grain
after
of salt.
Godzilla, could they, if they got the IP for like My Hero Academia, they could do that, right?
Correct. They could
Okay.
do that. Yeah, yeah. But then, like I said,
They're
I couldn't mix
restricted.
and match. That you're stuck to My Hero, or you're stuck to Godzilla, or you're stuck to thing. They can play
Is
against
it
each
is
other.
it because of a rule that they could get sued if they combine
I
it?
believe it has a lot to do with the IPs. The people who own the IPs are like, nah, I don't want you mixing with this anime. Fuck them, right? I don't mind our game being in like
Part
I
of
don't mind.
your
Yeah, I don't mind our IP being in your
yeah.
game, but I don't want you guys to mix and match our stuff.
Okay.
Somebody was telling me more like really in depth stuff. He put like a big ass paragraph, like an article. I was like, damn, this guy knew so much about it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that it was that deep.
Yeah, because from our perspective, we enjoy gaming. So like a gamer, it's like, oh shit, Godzilla and Naruto? Word? Okay, cool. Like
That's
let me
very
start
true,
building
Arlen.
the
That's
deck
very
to see
true.
what I can play with. Huh?
No, I was reading one of the comments. Someone
What
posted
was
something.
what are the comments so we can keep it up?
You said that one deck versus a million decks is a mindset. Some people like being versatile, while others like outsmarting their opponent.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Which is true. That's true. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people who like to play like meta decks, and you have people who like to play the anti meta decks and like to outsmart your opponent and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Well, there's a wow factor or a hidden factor that I like to say. When you play something that's more unorthodox that hasn't been really seen play, it catches your opponent off guard. your opponent, even if they're a skilled player, if they haven't had many interactions or many reps against that type of build, they may not know the proper play lines to play around your deck in order to effectively beat you. So it's good because, like, for example, that tricolor Janemba deck, I'm pretty sure the reason why that deck did so well at this tournament was because a lot of people didn't know how to play against it or prepare against it. So it was able to beat a lot of these pan players. It was able to beat a lot of these players that revolve their decks around lower cost cards like U6, because you could just counter them and continue milling them out while still setting up for your bigger plays.
Well, not only were you countering them, the Vegeta the Cruel makes you lose cards in your hand as well. So you're warping
Yeah,
cards from
it's
your
a discard. It's like, all right, I'll counter you, get rid of that. Also, by the way, drop a card from your hand.
So
You
not
know,
only
so
are you losing cards in deck, you're losing cards in hand.
and
This
you
is
get a card on field. You
yeah,
get value on board. Yeah.
yeah. You get a 5K power, a 5K combo boost.
15K
Yeah.
beat stick. Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna ever attack with them, but it's a free
I
combo.
mean, it's value. If I swing out with 15K, you have to guard up. You still got to guard 5.
Yeah, I guess
You know.
to kill rested guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
it's good. I definitely, their deck was very innovative, interesting, and much credit to those players. And again, congratulations to Dayon for pulling out a nice W. Yeah.
So I was watching your little small episode of All About You before you got on here, and you were shooting your shot to everybody, man. So you
Yeah.
said something about you issue a challenge. So uh, please let me know what that challenge is all about.
Well, the challenge is because, like, I think I was talking to you about it before we started this live stream or live chat. It essentially kind of comes down to like the community overall. So I noticed something different about the Dragon Ball community as opposed to other communities that I've been a part of or at least know of. And this is one of the few communities that we have a lot of. I don't know. Should I be using derogatory language or it doesn't matter?
Doesn't bother me, man. You want to call somebody about the fuck call,
So,
motherfucker?
okay. So we have a lot of dick riders. So basically, for example, Daehan, right? And I'm not saying Daehan's a dick rider. I'm saying people dick ride him. So Daehan
Isn't he like the King Arthur of the group?
He's like he's one of the people's champs, so to speak. He's one of them. Danny Hype is one. He's one of them. I believe Peter Catani at one point was one of the people's champs.
My boy Daehan over here
Jordan
is Mr. Hercule, huh?
Yeah, he's Hercule, right? So in Daehan's case, he's a good player. But I remember when he started topping events and he got his first W, people were like, "Oh my God, he's the best player. He's the best. He's the best." And I'm like, how is that kid the best when he has only one win and a few tops? Oh, well, because he's been doing good, really good consistently. I'm like, that's cool, but we have players in the game that have been consistently doing well since the start of the game. What about those players? Oh, nah, they're cheaters. Yeah, the only reason why they do good are cheaters. Like, they would say Eon Hill, cheater. Eric Hill, cheater. Anthony Hernandez, cheater. Like, so people
wouldn't Jordan Marco be called a cheater too? Didn't he?
No, actually, believe it or not, yeah, Jordan Marco got called a cheater a few times.
Really?
But not so much. I don't see it like that, but he has been called a cheater. But not like us. Not like he's not on red. He's not someone that you associate cheating with.
He's yellow.
Word.
Okay.
He's yellow. He's not red. He's yellow right now. He's not blinking. We're blinking right now. I like
you guys are fucking bleeding, huh?
We're bleeding out. Yo, it's like Gears of War over here. But so basically, when they brought up this player Daehan, I was like, yo, he's a good player. I played him before. Now I did 2-0 him. But he's a good player. I know he has like intelligence when he plays. So anyways, this guy was doing very well. And now, I mean, from the previous events, I think his other top placement was a top 16. I mean, anyone watching could correct me. prior to this W. So now he has another W, but before that, I believe he made a top 16 appearance. And then his previous records of a first place, I think like a top 8 or a top 4 performance, something like that. So again, a stellar player, someone who's been doing good, but people I notice in this community, when someone does good and they like that player, it's like, oh my God, cheers! Like you get people
I
like
mean,
throwing up in arms for
but,
that
but that's isn't that how it is in everything? Like, let's say you're playing like sports, right?
yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Patriots, but I do know when the Patriots win, we fucking go off. So wouldn't that be the same thing as like if Danny won and if people love them, they're gonna go off. If people who love you when you win, they're gonna go off, and people who hate you gonna go off. That's
All right, so
it's
now we're gonna talk about that because actually that's funny. We're touching on a topic that I guess correlates with that. All right, so you said when Danny wins. When Danny wins, people go off. I would say Danny has like 95% or 90% at the very least of people supporters. He
I don't
might
even,
have a
I ain't gonna
5 to
lie.
ten
I
percent.
don't even know who he is. So I'm in that 1% or 0.5% who's like, huh?
All right, well, Danny Height is probably the second or third best player in the game, based on allocates, based on actual performances
Guys,
and records in the game. So he is very talented. He has 3 major wins. He has a good amount of top cuts, a second place performance. He's very good. You know, there's not much I could really say about him other than saying he's a very good player. When he wins, the crowd goes wild, right? In a good way. But now let's go to a player like myself. When I
bum bum
win,
bum.
yeah, when I win, I do get a good amount of people saying, yeah, like, all right, we got the DBS God, he won, right? That's cool. But since I have a huge fan base, but that includes like 50 to 60% haters, it's like, oh my God, the cheater won. Cheater, cheater, cheater,
I'm
cheater.
I'm in
Like
I'm in I'm
that.
in that crowd like cheater, cheater.
So it's
What did they talk about? Who? Oh,
so it's like when I win, there's always a bad stigma around me winning because of who I am in the community. And people would say he must have cheated some kind of way, right? And must have, you know? So that's how it is with me. So like when Danny wins or when Dehan wins, it's like, wow, like, yeah, our champion won. But you see, it's perspectives in the community. So, and I noticed like newer players that join this community, they're going based on hearsay. So like, let's say I'm a new guy, like similar to our last podcast of what we discussed. I'm a new player. I'm coming in the Dragon Ball Super group. I'm like, hey man, what are the top players? What are the channels I should watch? Who should I learn from? Yo, learn from Joey Palladino from Crossworld. Learn
yeah.
from Eggman. Learn from, X, Y, and Z. Yo,
Learn
by all means,
learn
stay
from
away from All
Sigma
About You,
Gaming.
yo. Stay away from that Anthony Hernandez, yo. He's a cheater. Like, that's what happened.
Well,
That's
you
literally
gotta
what
do
happened.
though, right? You gotta make a video on how to cheat. No, I'm serious. I'm not
Pro
even
cheats,
joking.
man.
You gotta make a video on how to cheat because that's the only way you're gonna silence the haters. You're gonna just make the
Like,
video. This
people,
is
this
this
is
is
how
how
you
you
cheat.
cheat. Cheat like the god.
Like the God. Oh,
I'll
God.
guarantee you. You know how much views you'll get for that? You get that probably be your highest viewed video. I
Yep.
swear to
That,
God.
that in like one day that shit would probably hit 5,000-6,000 views and no problem.
And no problem, cause I'll watch it. I'll probably watch it twice, cause that's just gonna be hilarious. And you need to dress up as Toby when you do it. Like you need to dress up as Toby for
I'll wear the
the
contacts and all, like all the way through.
for the
But
nostalgic reasons. You just got to do it for the old Bondi guys. You know what I mean?
right, got to do it for them. But but so that's kind of like where it's at. So like newer players coming into the community, they're taught that All About You is not good because he cheats, and that Anthony Hernandez is not good because he cheats. So it's like you see how the community, my haters, they start rising. Like there was a time where I could say I had about 75% supporters, 25% haters because of my my mannerisms, my character,
You-
saying I'm the best. Like people don't like hearing that when someone says
I
I'm the best,
mean,
you
it
know?
makes sense. Like like if you telling me you're the best, I'm part of this community, so I'm like,
Yeah.
nigga, you suck. you you gonna keep saying you're the best.
Yeah.
Uh, it's I can see why people would get upset because nobody wants to be like worse or terrible. Everybody wants to be the best.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I think about it, right? I think
Yeah. I
when I
feel like if you play the game and you're gonna go to tournaments, you're not playing to lose, right?
of course,
You're
yeah,
playing for the chance to win.
correct.
Um, so when someone does say they're the best, they're already kind of taking away from you in a sense.
Yeah, you're like fuck this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But what happens is, believe it or not, I say it and then I win. I say it and then I'm in the finals. So when people see this, it really irks them because they're like, damn, like this guy, like, why is he doing so well? Like, I don't like him. I don't want to like him, but he is doing well. And it's like it kind of messes with their perspective of how they want to view me or view the game. And so then they start saying, wow, why are they letting this cheater play? Like they start thinking like, yo, he must be cheating. Like there's no way he says he's the best and he's winning. Like there's no way.
You know what you gotta do, right? You gotta turn it around. Like, remember how everybody used to hate Kurt Angle?
Oh, of course.
Oh,
You suck.
so,
Fan,
yeah,
fan, you
you
suck.
suck.
Fan.
That's what you gotta do. Dude. You gotta do something like that and turn that shit into positive. Because after a while, people started to love Kurt
Like
Angle.
her angle, yeah.
I used to hate Kurt Angle. I thought he was garbage. This
Yeah.
bald head motherfucker, you suck. Get out of here.
You suck, exactly.
Right?
Get out.
But damn, I love that guy now. Like he's so
Yeah.
great.
I remember when he started changing from like the heel, and he started actually like his roles in within the WWE or WWF.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
It was crazy.
It was like night and day. The change from being the most hated to the most loved. Like
love. Yep.
the same thing with
and
The
it was
Rock
great.
too.
Like I remember he fought Brock Lesnar, and people were like, "Damn, like Kurt Angle, please win, please win." Like people were actually voting for him to beat Brock Lesnar at that time. But yeah, I know. My thing is that like me personally, I do. A part of me likes the backlash. A part of me likes it. The only
I
issue,
bet.
the only issue that I have is that the backlash gets translated into cheating. It gets translated into misconduct, which is not the truth. Like
Gotcha.
I don't know how the community deviates from not liking a person to, oh, we don't like him because he's a cheater. Where did that come from? Like it's like it just came out of nowhere, and it just stuck.
Word of mouth is very powerful, man. There was this app, or I won't say app. It was like a couple years back. I'll say maybe about a good 6 years ago, where little small cell phone companies were slowly rising, like Metro and stuff like that. They had this company that was like, you know what? We're not gonna do advertisement. Our advertisement is gonna be word of mouth, and whenever you have somebody join your or subscribe, whatever, we'll give you this much money, and whenever you advertise and share all this stuff, we'll give you money. So instead of spending money on advertisement, they was just giving it to the people, right? And it started to spread like wildfire. But I don't know what happened to it. So something like that, where like, okay, this guy was cheating, and if someone thinks you're cheating, then the other guy might think you're cheating. And if I told this dude, yo, he's a cheater, then they're gonna automatically assume you're a cheater. There's no reason for me not to believe this dude, you know. So that's what's
You're
going
right.
on.
But now my thing
It's
is,
like a ricochet, man.
it seems like it's just bouncing off walls. But my thing is that when people use some logic, like, all right, everyone is saying, or not everyone, but there's a portion of the community saying this guy cheats, right? Well, why am I not banned? Why are people allowing me to compete? Why like when you start to look at the scenario, if this guy is really a cheater and judges are watching him, judges are checking his sleeves, they're watching his games even during Swiss rounds. There's other players just watching me. Like I told you, I had a hater that was like right behind me. That was my boy. He was an Ambu. I'm like Hokage and he's an Ambu watching me. Like, I got my boy in the back watching me. Like, so when you have these things happening, doesn't that kind of say, wait, maybe he's not a cheater? Maybe he's actually good. Maybe somewhere along the lines, someone spreaded false rumors, and these rumors are like, they just caught on like wildfire. Like I don't understand why people don't start using logical thinking. Like if he's a cheater, Bandai would have banned him. If
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
a cheater, PBG would ban them. If
correct.
he's a cheater,
That's the way I see it. It's just like
like
you're throwing the word cheating, but he goes to his event, never got caught cheating. There's no proof that he cheated. Uh, there's just what people think he cheated. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I think he cheated, and there's somewhat like debatable proof, right? Where it's like, uh, that could be cheating, and I don't
could
know.
have been a mistake,
Yeah,
a
like,
regular mistake.
you start to hit the line of true and false, right? So
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna call somebody a cheater or whatever, that should be up to the judges, right? If the judges say, yeah, he cheated, then by all means, the motherfucker cheated,
Can me.
right?
You know, what can I say? Lock me up and throw away the key. Like, if that's gonna be the sense. But it's cool because I communicate with the judges. I communicate with the staff, right? And it's funny when I have these conversations because like I've spoken to George Machado or have spoken to primarily Felipe and Jim and a lot of the
I don't
judge
know
staff.
any of those names, though.
Oh well, I know. I'm just throwing out names, but these are the tournament
Yeah,
organizers, the
yeah, yeah.
TOs.
I'm sure
I've
these are
spoken
the
to the
big dogs.
TOs. I've spoken to the judge, like a lot of the judge staff, and they know what it is. They know what it is. Like the judges, they'll watch me, and they're like, Anthony, we love watching you. Like we're not watching you because we think you cheat. We watch you because you're good. Like we like how you play. Like but when you look at the community, again, the spreading of false rumors, how certain YouTubers or certain Patreon owners spread information. And that's where that podcast, that last podcast we had, touched up on those topics. It's the misusage of information,
Uh,
that leads the masses to start thinking, well, if my favorite YouTuber, my favorite, the guy I look up to is saying Anthony Hernandez is a cheater, or hinting that he might be cheating, that he must be a cheater. He must be. It got to be. You know?
Yo, I got my invite. By the way, I got my invite.
Woo!
Yeah, I was
Let's
playing
go.
17 and 18 Android.
Nice, 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 nice.
I didn't get an invite because I did good at the event. It was 5 rounds. I lost 2-1 and 1-3. But everybody else that was at the event already had
Oh,
an
they had
invite,
already there.
and I was just
Yeah,
like,
so trickle.
yeah. I came in like
Motto.
I came in like in fifth
You are
place.
the winner.
Yeah, I came in fifth place. And I was like, oh, I got an invite. I'm not going. I got an invite. I don't
Oh,
even
shit.
know, like, cause I checked my little app, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this app? What is this? And I'm like, oh shit, National Pumped. I don't even know what that means. And then someone was like, you got an invite. I was like, oh, invite to what?
They're like, you got to invite to Nats. You're in.
Yeah,
You're in.
is it for Nats? Or
I
is it for
believe it.
regionals?
I'm not sure. I mean,
Actually, let
you
me.
have to.
I
Does
have
it
the
say
app.
finalist? Does it say pumped
I
finalist?
I don't even know what it says anymore, bro. Did I even delete the app? I think I probably deleted the app.
Oh,
Yo,
oh no.
I didn't really care much for it. Like, I went there to have some fun and to get those championship cards,
Yeah.
and
No, but
I
that's good.
I got
It
a
paid off.
fucking brawly in my championship pack. I was so upset. So I want Vegetas. I don't want the Vegetas to sell it. I want the Vegetas because I want to play the black deck. I'm like, I can't play the black deck without the Vegetas. It kind of sucks.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. No, it's true. It's so true. But Marto, I guess you can like let the chat know by like in the next 9 to 10 minutes, I'm gonna start cutting it off like that
Oh yeah,
2
no,
a.m.
no, no,
mark.
no. We're about to hit the hour mark, so that
Okay,
works
okay.
perfectly fine. We're right now at 49 minutes,
All right,
so
cool, cool, cool.
'cause I gotta
So
go to work too. So
I know, So if anyone has questions,
correct. If you guys have any
definitely
questions,
drop them down. Drop them down. If you have anything you guys want me to talk about, or Marto, you want Marto to talk about, by all means,
also if
throw it
if you
down.
have anybody like you would like to see be up here and talking in like a guest, let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to follow All About You. I put it in the description below, so feel free to check it out this page. like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And if you have any topics you would like for us to talk about, maybe in the next segment or anything like that, also let us know down below.
For
That would
sure.
help a lot. You know,
Hmm.
we don't want to keep rambling off about the same thing over and over.
Yeah. When a new event happens, we definitely have a lot to talk about.
Unfortunately, you
But
didn't get to go, so
I know,
I know that a lot of this podcast was supposed to be based on
based off of the
your
results
experience
afterwards, yeah,
at the event, uh, and because you didn't get to go because your dumb ass fucked up.
I fucked up. I royally fucked up.
My boy
I
goofed
went.
over
I
there.
went $217 neg, so I fucked up.
Did you lose all that money? Fucking a, mate.
Yeah. I. It's funny because when I spoke about it, Danny Hype he hit me up in one of the comment section, and he was like, "Can you catch a break?" Like, because lately my life has been like, it's been like a roller coaster. It's like I'll win something great. Like I won $4,000, like the one that I told you, the AC event.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, yeah, we won $4,000. Great. Then $2,000 later, it's stolen. So I
Whoa,
lost
whoa, whoa,
over
whoa, 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 whoa. What you mean stolen?
someone. All right. So
You gotta touch up on
imagine,
that.
yeah. So all right, we'll talk a little bit about it. So basically, I was going out to like certain restaurants to eat. I was eating good. I'm not gonna lie. I was going to
I
like
could see that.
I was going to some nice restaurants, and I at some point, which I have my hunch, and I don't know if I want to say my hunch on here because that would obviously imply a specific person that I'm no
Hey,
longer
look,
with.
man.
But
Say what you want to say. Nothing here is off limits except for
okay, all right.
homophobic
So
stuff.
I'll first discuss what happened. So when I had $2,100 on my card left, roughly that amount, I ended up going to a Dunkin' Donuts with my well, with my ex at the time,
Hmm.
and I was like, all right, grab some snacks, whatever. I swiped it, it said decline. So I'm
Oh.
like, ain't no way in hell my card is declined because I have over $2,000 on it. So I look at the history. I opened up the app or whatever, look through the history, and it says pending, $500 pending, $1,000 pending, 400 and something dollars pending, whatever. It had multiple big chunks of amounts pending, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like, what's up? So I'm seeing all these things being purchased through my card. So
Like
and they're all
online
pending.
purchase?
Online purchases, yeah. And they're
Oh
Yeezys.
shit.
I saw like 2 pairs of sneakers purchased. I saw like a watch purchase, something for weed purchase. Like it was just stupid stuff. Like I'm like, what's going on? So anyways, fast forward, I'm thinking maybe like there was one moment where I got locked out of my house. I ended up having to call a locksmith because I didn't have my keys. And I thought maybe the locksmith took down numbers that he wasn't supposed to take down on my card because it was a young guy and I had like a weird vibe from him. That's all I could say. A weird vibe in just how he was like, because I didn't have any payment, I didn't have any other ways of pay. So what I did was I gave him the standard card numbers, but I didn't give him anything else that he would be able to read off. But like it was just weird. It was like my interaction with him just was weird. So I'm like, maybe he
No,
was the
yeah,
one who.
that looks terrible, bro.
Yeah,
Did you get your money back at least? Are you able to cancel those
I
stuff?
was able to get $500 back from it. 500 from the
Uh,
2,100 that went missing. So that was all. That was it.
that's fuck.
Neg.
I feel bad for
That,
you, man. Sorry to hear that, my dude.
yeah.
That's like
It was
some
bad. Thank you.
that's like some kind of like pun a baby kind of shit right there, man. Fucking a, man.
So my from what I discussed with a few friends and even an officer, because I spoken to an
Of
officer.
course,
I
you
spoke to
have to.
two.
You have to.
Yeah.
You
So I
talk.
spoke to two officers. I spoke to one officer that I'm friends with. He actually plays this card game. He plays Dragon Ball Super.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he goes to locals at Brothers Grimm. And then I spoke to another
Shout outs
officer,
to the
which was
folks
at
at
the
Brothers
precinct.
Grimm.
Yeah. Then I spoke to another officer that from a precinct, and the officer told me, he's like, "You got a girlfriend?" I was like, "Well, yeah." At that time, I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you sure your girlfriend didn't maybe take down your numbers and made some purchases?" Is she acting weird? Is her behavior off? Is there, this is what he said. And I'm like, well, yeah, actually, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, her behavior is off. And it's a little weird. She's acting weird with me. And sure enough, she gets with another nigga called named Anthony. Like, she left me during that transitioning period. So I'm
Shit!
like, yeah, it's like some
Oh my
stupid
god.
novella,
Hijo de
you know.
puta, yo. What a bitch.
So I'm just like, wait a minute. I'm going broke. My girl just left me. Like, this is bad. Like, this is actually bad.
I,
Was she part of the reason why I went broke? Was she? Did she? Because the officer, he didn't want to blame anything. Like he said, I'm not
of
saying she
course,
did
no, yeah,
anything.
yeah, no, but it don't look good.
Yeah, because
It's
who
kind of
else
like
has
it's kind
access
of
to
like
your
how
card
like
information?
it's kind of like when people calling you a cheater. It's like there's no proof, but
But it still doesn't look good.
yeah, it doesn't look good, right?
Yeah, so in this situation, I'm like, would Katie steal from me? And there have been moments where I sensed that she would, which is just a long story.
Man, she
Like,
from New York. I'm just saying, everybody from New York steal. I'm just saying,
you're funny. You're funny.
every person in New York is bad.
We're all bad.
They're all
You're
bad
bad.
people.
We're all
You're bad.
bad.
You're all bad. You can't
Oh
trust a
shit.
motherfucker from New York.
Yo, so to this day, I don't know for sure, but it's a possibility. It's the possibility is always there.
FYI,
Um,
by the way,
yeah.
this podcast just got approved in the group.
Oh, okay. Wow. We live in the group. Um,
Like an
so
hour later, right? Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
we made it. We made
Yeah.
it.
We
Right?
got to do this a lot sooner. That's what we got to do.
Yeah. So, you know, going through all this stuff, I'm like, is it possible that she would have stolen that money? And I'm like, it is, but I don't want to think that. I'd rather think that she just didn't want to be with me anymore, and she decided to get
Yeah,
with another person, and
stay
that's that.
stay as positive you can stay. We don't
Exactly.
want to be
And
negative.
leave it at that.
You don't need that negativity. It's already bad enough if you're
It's
fucking
already
with her,
bad.
bro.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
already bad. It's like,
Got dumb. You broke.
yeah.
Uh, you don't need any more negative because you might just kill yourself at that point. Yeah.
We're done. We're
Well,
done.
the DBZ the DBS god
They're like, wait,
has
he's not a
committed
god,
suicide.
guys. He's dead. He's not a god after all. Oh
Jesus
God.
Christ.
But
Where did you get that name from? Actually, the DBZ god. DBS god.
actually,
Sorry, not DBZ god.
DBS, yeah. Eon Hill. Eon.
Of course,
So
it'd be
funny.
one of the dumb hill twins.
Oh
Fucking
God.
Rajin and Fujin. Jesus
Oh
Christ, I love those
God.
guys. Those guys are hilarious.
Nah, they're always cool. They're some of my best friends.
One
But
of them, didn't one of them like getting married or something like that?
no, not married. He's in a very committed relationship and has a kid. He has a
Okay,
child that's coming along.
all right. I knew there was something couple wise, like
Yeah, yeah,
like, it's
yeah.
something big. I don't know if it was engaged, marriage, a kid. I
Yeah.
forgot about kid. Like that should
Yeah,
be.
that's pretty
I,
big.
I should have said, does he have a kid? And then
Yeah.
you go to marriage, but because we're fucking backwards nowadays. We have kids, then we get married.
I mean, this whole world is backwards, bro. Like, I could literally get switched from Dragon Ball into like a whole relationship topic. Like a lot of the ways relationships are today, just it's like up is up, up is down, down is up. Like there's no balance. Like a lot of relationships, they just first of all, you have people getting into relationships without thinking about any like foundation factors. Like normally back then, when you got with a person, you wanted to get to know their family, you wanted to get to know their upbringing, their values. No, if a girl likes you and they want to bang you and they want sex, or if a guy likes you, guys are always on the prowl just to bang every chick they can bang.
Yeah.
No stability, no stability at all in relationships.
Oh, on a little small side note, and it's DBS related. How often did you and Katie play like
Oh,
DBS?
me and Katie, when we were together, we used to play often. Like she was an interesting person because she wanted to get very good at this game. Like from my understanding, she had like a passion to get good to the point that it used to cause relationship problems. Like off of a card game, ladies and gentlemen. Like
No. Like, trust
yeah,
me. Sometimes I see some of my friends get mad, like they get butthurt when you beat them.
Yeah,
And it's
well,
like,
it was Kate. All right, so what would happen is Katie would get so excited when she would take a game off me, which she did every now and then. She would take a game off me. Um, but what would happen is when she would lose, she would be like asking me these questions like, "What could I have done better? What did I do? Whatever." And it used to get she used to start getting frustrated, and to the point where she would get rage. Like there have been times where she threw her deck at me, like literally threw her deck and was like I'm done with this shit. Like just throw it right at me, and I'm just like, yo, like this is just a card game. Like I don't even take this shit this
hey man,
seriously.
people be flipping tables, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we got people flipping tables, but like I used to look at her and I'm like, I do this for a living. You're doing this for a hobby. Like, it's okay not to be that good. But now the problem was, and I guess the issues that I had was that she wanted to go to events with me. Like, she wanted to go to a lot of regionals with me. And I used to tell her, I was like, Katie, like, I don't mind you going with me to tournaments, but because we're on a budget as a couple, because she was living with me for a decent amount of time, I was like, I can't afford, or we can't afford, for you to go to tournaments and scrub out. And I told her that blatantly. And like, I remember Eric and Eon was like, I know you're telling her the truth, but like, it just sounds bad because you're like telling her she can't go with you. And I was like, you're right and you're wrong. Like, if as a couple, if you
Your
have
execution was terrible.
my execution was blunt, but it was
Yeah,
terrible. Yeah, but it was blunt. It
you
was
could
upfront.
have been blunt and but still be better at it. You could
Yeah,
have been like, hey, I love you, but if you go, we can't afford you to lose. You know what I mean? Like something. Say it in a nicer way. It's too late now, obviously, but you can say it in a nicer way.
she dumped my ass because of that, probably.
Right, right.
But yeah, so when it came down to it, she was like someone who aspired to be very good at the game because she felt pressured because she was with me that she had to be good, which is weird. Like you're not. It's not like I said I did call her the Dragon Ball Goddess, and that started becoming like the name. So like people would be like, "Oh, is the DBS Goddess going too?" Like it was funny because she started getting incorporated in a lot of chats. But it wasn't the same way. It wasn't this like with me. I have to perform. Like I'll lose
Well, I
Patreon
mean,
supporters.
well,
I'll lose subscribers.
you talk a
I'll
lot of
lose
shit,
things if I don't.
so you got to back it up. If you go talk shit, you got to back it up.
Yeah,
You know.
but she didn't. Like if she scrubbed out, it was okay. Like there's no one looking at Katie like, oh my God, Katie, you better. We all look up to you. You better top. Like no, it wasn't like that. But what the issue was, she wanted to travel, and because I was blunt, it used to get to her where she would try to grind, and when I was beating her constantly, she would get angry, and it was almost like she was building resentment towards me every time we played,
So,
like increments of resentment.
question to the chat: do you guys have any of those type of friends where you guys grind or lab, and then they get mad, like super butthurt? Because I don't have people in my circle that get butthurt like that, but I used to have people in my circle in the past for other games like Naruto, where I will play and we'll play like 30 games and I'll win 30 games, and they'll be super butthurt, and I'm like, bro, you keep making the same mistake, and you can tell them over and over what the mistakes are, and they be like, nah, like I don't know if you guys have people like that in your group, but
It's
I
like
just wanted to know.
stubborn
Yeah,
players.
because I like when I play with my friends and I lose a match, I'm like, damn, I should have done this, and then they'll tell me, well, it doesn't matter what you did because I had this in my hand. I don't know that, but to me, it was like, well, the reason why I'm saying this to myself is that this is the more optimal play. Whether or not it was going to win me the game, it was more. That's the play I should have made from the get go, and I didn't make that play.
Hmm.
So I need to like remember, hey, make these better play.
Always, yeah. It's like
It's not
keep mental
guaranteed you're going
notes.
to win, but it'll put you in a better position. Even though the person might have had all the answers, well, that's unfortunate. It happens, but always make sure you make the better play, and always go back, remind them like I should have done this. That's something that I do. It's like take a little mental note.
Yeah. and it helps you just become a better player and just more aware of what you're doing during the game. But yeah, so I guess to close that topic off, that was the dynamics between me and Katie.
Gotcha.
It was fun, it was fun having a girlfriend that played cards. But I'm gonna be honest, moving forward,
Try
me
not to.
personally,
Try
nah,
not to.
I'm good. I'd rather a
Yeah.
girl be into her. I'd rather a girl be into girly stuff. To be honest, I'd rather her be into like her own stuff. With cards for me, again, if a girl wants to play cards, like great, we need you in our community. But it's not a requirement in a relationship at all.
Yeah.
And in some cases, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a pro player or if you're a very good player, you may come across issues that are going to be harder to deal with when you have a girlfriend that's also involved in that hobby.
That's why I would
Yeah.
probably never date a gamer girl.
Yes, imagine,
So
I can imagine like she's like, you ain't getting sex tonight. You beat me, you ain't getting nothing. And I'm just like, oh man, like come on.
I need the
do-
booty. I need the booty, baby. Come on. No,
You know.
I had a friend who I used to play Xbox with, like, you know, on the Xbox 360. This is like way back, and she was telling me that she had to get her own console and this and that because she didn't want to share with her husband. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. She was like, yeah, never date a fucking gamer. That's what she's telling me. But she told me like
She's
very,
hardcore.
yeah, she was real mad, dude. Like she was like, don't never date a gamer girl. I'm like, yes, ma'am. don't whip me. Yo,
That's
but
cute.
but
And I
you
like
know
that.
what?
Like,
I took her advice.
yeah. No, it's
Or
true. It's like, again, it's cool. Like a lot of people, I remember people used to hit me up, and they were like, "Yo, Anthony, like it must be fun to have a gamer chick." But I was like, "Yeah,
take
no."
off this
Like
hat.
at
Why
that
is-
time, I had mixed feelings about it, and that was why I was still together with her because I knew the arguments we went through, and the arguments we went through, they're like, as it is when you're in a relationship with a person, especially when it's a man and a woman, you're bound to have disagreements. And you don't want extra curriculum disagreements on just your hobbies. Like, no, come on. We don't need extra problems in our relationship.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just don't need it.
I don't need to be arguing with you about cars and then arguing about what the fuck we gonna eat for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. I remember me and Katie, we would play, and she would make a misplay, and she's like, I'm taking it back. And I was like, well, sometimes I would let her take it back, but then there were times I was like, wait, no, but you know information you're not supposed to know. Like, if you want to really learn, I can't let you take it back. And then she would be like, oh, you're not letting me take it back? Like, oh, you're scared of losing the game? And I'm just like, she'll get really tough with me. Like, she's about to kick my ass. Like,
She
I'm
probably
like,
will,
yo,
dog.
like,
I think she could take you.
but there were times, bro. That she literally came out left field, bro. Like she literally told me there was one time which it was bad. Like it was really bad. Like she told me she was gonna kick my ass. Like,
Is
and I was
is she
just
from the
like,
Bronx?
Yo, I'm like, yo, since when? The hood got into her.
Yeah, she's
Bro, like, I
gutter,
don't know what
dog.
happened.
Katie was gutter.
Yo,
Uh,
I'm like, you whipping other people's ass. You ain't gonna whip my ass on top of that. Like, no.
but
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna cut it short. It's like
Yeah.
we're an hour into this. It's 2:10. I gotta be up in the fucking morning. So and I'll see you next week, my dude.
For sure. Everybody watching,
Everybody,
thank
yep.
you for joining in. I know we just got approved in the main group, so at least you guys could go back in the video
Yep,
and
go back,
rewatch
watch
some
it.
of the exciting stuff we've spoken about. We're gonna be doing this every week, at least once a week, and like Mardo said, we'll have some guests on the show, and we're gonna talk about hot topics and
Speaking of which, I'm gonna be doing one with Joey on Thursday. So obviously you're not gonna be there, but
Mr. Palladino.
so that's gonna be cool.
Shit.
We'll try to keep it PG.
He's gonna come. I'm like Thanos right now. You should have aimed for the head.
No, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see different perspective on different things on different parts of the scale of players. So
Okay,
I
sounds
think
good.
it would be
Good.
fun. We gotta convince Frank. Is it Frank Miller? That's the thing, right?
Yeah, it's Frank Miller.
Frank Miller.
Mr. Mailman.
Yo, come on. We need to get you on this because I love his videos. Out of everybody there, I wish he had a YouTube channel. I really wish he had a YouTube
A lot
channel.
of people have told him, they were saying, "Hey man, like you should get a YouTube channel because he's funny." And it's ironic because his job, like his literally like it's just funny because every time he's going on live in his videos, he's always in his uniform or in his like truck or whatever. Like it's hilarious,
Yeah,
you
he
know. But
he's naturally funny. Like I don't, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure he's not even trying to be funny. He's just that funny guy. He also has that charisma. He has this. You can't hate him. There's nothing about him that you can hate.
yeah,
And you can look at him, you're like, "Nah, I can't hate this guy. This guy, he's a good guy, you know."
yeah, for
But
sure.
I just love watching his videos. They make my day sometimes. I'm like, this motherfucker, yo, he's on some shit. But he speaks facts too. It's not like he's
Yeah,
talking bullshit. He's like, yo, he's for real.
nah, for sure. He's the real deal, and you know it's cool to have more people like that in our community that has like extra flavor to really give to to all of us watching.
And he also knows how to take an L.
Oh, he takes some L's. He knows how to take it right.
He take
But
yeah, like I think that
yeah,
that's another problem too that I've been seeing recently is that people in the community don't know how to take an L. It's like
there's no shame in taking a loss.
you
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 learn
censor
from it.
shit, take the L, keep it moving.
That's how it is.
But yeah, Ant,
You know.
I gotta go, my man.
All
Uh,
right, sounds
Hey,
good.
everybody, thank you for showing up and showing some love. I'll be seeing
Definitely
you guys next week. Well, I'll be seeing you guys Thursday. I'll see you next week. I
next
don't.
week for sure.
Let's try to do it like before 10 o'clock.
Yeah. We got to try to start it a little earlier so that we could get approved and everything could go start
Yeah,
moving.
because
But
I'm pretty sure we didn't get approved because it was so late and somebody just
yeah.
happened to like, oh, I gotta take a piss and I
Oh,
happen to see a
click.
notification. Yeah. That's what happens to
Yeah.
me. I got people sending like invites to join the groups and I'm like, yo, it's 3 in the morning, but I gotta use the bathroom and I just look at
All
my
right,
phone like,
click. Yeah,
uh,
y'all good.
you're from like Indonesia. Click. All
That's funny.
right, everybody. Peace.
Peace.